Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson, episode 3 in our series on PEDs for males. And we're going to move into cycle adjustments. We finished up last episode talking about a little bit, at least in terms of cycle design. We'll probably pick that up here as well. But how to make these adjustments. Deeper in the series, we're going to talk about aromatization a little bit more, some health considerations. But just whatever you have left, Adam, to talk about cycle design and then how to adjust or why people would make the changes when they do. It's because I don't tell people what to do if they are an enhanced athlete. I rely on them. I will tell my clients, you need to tell me what you're changing and when. So at least I look for those physiological effects and I can, understand what's happening from a nutrition and body composition standpoint. But let's go through it. Tell us what people are doing and how they're adjusting their cycles and why.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, you want to use the minimum effective dose. So if you're getting great results, don't mess with anything. But some things that could be, roadblocks potentially is not having a great, androgen to estrogen ratio. So if you have estrogen too low, you might get some sexual side effects that you're not fond of. And then if estrogen's too high, you might get some gyno. So this is where you really have to adjust. So if you're getting that conversion to estrogen, you're definitely getting too much. So this is where we look into, first of all, I usually like to pull back the amount of drugs versus add a drug to, stop that, or we might pull down the dose and add a DHT to lower the estrogen, just so we're hitting it from both sides. The other component of that is estrogen could be too low. So you actually add something that does aromatize. So testosterone aromatizes the estrogen for men. So if you need more estrogen in your body, you can definitely increase testosterone, or you can use a compound like dianabol, which really converts to estrogen very quickly. So that actually can really help you balance the androgen to estrogen ratio. That's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So if you can kind of see where you naturally sit before you even start a cycle in the first place, if you can kind of keep that ratio in mind as androgens raise, that's a really good way to balance your cycle. However, you might not be able to keep that ratio based on, like side effects like gynecomastia. So there will be some fine-tuned changes per person.
Mm-hmm. And just with a little historical context, going back to the first uses of these, compounds in the 60s and 70s, even deep into the 80s, you would see somebody like a Lee Haney hit the stage at 230 pounds, 240 pounds, and people would talk about cycling, and a lot of people, even in the 60s and 70s, would just do absolutely nothing as kind of a cleansing period, and they would only use leading up to their contest. And now, of course, it's just a race to the top. And so people are cycling stuff all year round. We're getting competitors on stage at over 300 pounds. So what is different, and maybe what do you think is harmful or what is okay in terms of the more modern era type of cycling?
That's a tough one because it can always seem okay on paper, and I think you never really know your answer until the long term. Maybe you develop some heart disease earlier than you would have, or maybe you don't develop it at all. You have to ask yourself, were you lucky, or was it you just had superior genetics to not have that happen? So it's a really hard one to answer, because I think at the end of the day, one thing that really led me into not doing this was, I said, when I'm dying, will I be on my deathbed wondering if it was something I did from my bodybuilding career? And that's what kept me, as a natural athlete through my time. Now, however, I am on TRT, and I do like the benefits of that. I do think that it's one of those things where I don't think I'll regret that, because I'm not taking myself to a super physiological level. So that was something that I knew I would never really have to question. But I think you start raising those doses, and maybe one cycle is all you do, and you could probably end up being super healthy from that, or two. But I think we also had to say there's the psychological component to this where, you sometimes don't want to stop because you do feel a little bit deflated when you're not on.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm the same way. I have chosen never to go that route. And I think it's almost just the personality difference as a species. So there are people like me who are a little cautious and reserved, and I'm looking at those health benefits, and I'm forward thinking enough to ask myself the same question. What's on the other side of this? Am I going to regret this? And other people are either I'm going to win the Olympia or die. I don't care. Whichever way it goes, that's where I'm heading. So I do, when we get into the next couple episodes, I want to talk about a little bit deeper health considerations, even in terms of medical management. So really appreciate your expertise, Adam, and you guys stay tuned. We're going to hit episodes 4 and 5 here in Contest Prep University.